The year was 610 AD, and the Roman Empire was dying. Persians had conquered the Holy Land, Slavs ravaged the Balkans, and the capital itself was under siege. Into this chaos stepped a man who would either save the empire or watch it die forever. Heraclius didn't just become emperor. He became Christianity's first crusader, launching a holy war that would reshape the medieval world. Welcome to Legacy of the Holy Cross, where Orthodox faith, Byzantine history, and sacred tradition are brought to life for the modern believer. In 1453, the walls of Constantinople finally fell. But what if I told you the Byzantine Empire never truly died? Today, millions of Orthodox Christians carry its legacy without even knowing it. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover hidden truths about your faith that will transform how you worship forever. Before we explore the sacred architecture that shaped Orthodox worship, claim your free Byzantine Heritage Guide. 7 symbols that transform how you experience divine liturgy. Click the link in the description. It's free and takes 30 seconds. Picture this. It's 610 AD, and the Roman Empire is dying. The Persians have conquered Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. The Avars are hammering at the gates of Constantinople. The treasury is empty, and rebellions are erupting across what's left of imperial territory. Into this chaos steps a young general from North Africa, Heraclius, who seizes the throne not through ambition, but through desperate necessity. What happens next will reshape the entire Christian world. But here's what makes this story absolutely extraordinary. Heraclius doesn't just save his empire through military genius alone. He transforms warfare itself into a holy crusade, becoming the first Christian emperor to wage war explicitly in the name of Christ. His battles against Persia weren't just territorial conflicts, they were cosmic struggles between Christianity and Zoroastrianism, between the true cross and the sacred fire of Ahura Mazda. Let me take you back to that pivotal moment in 610 when everything changed. The usurper Phocas has been terrorizing Constantinople for 8 years, his reign marked by brutal executions and administrative chaos. The empire that once stretched from Britain to Mesopotamia has shrunk to little more than Constantinople and a few scattered territories. Persian King Khosrow II, claiming to avenge the murdered Emperor Maurice, has launched a massive invasion that captures city after city with terrifying efficiency. The young Heraclius arrives with a fleet from Carthage, not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. When he enters Constantinople, the people welcome him as their salvation. But the empire he inherits is broken almost beyond repair. The Persians control Antioch, Damascus, and Jerusalem. They've captured the true cross, the most sacred relic in Christianity, the very wood upon which Christ was crucified. For Orthodox Christians, this isn't just a military defeat. It's a spiritual catastrophe of apocalyptic proportions. What Heraclius does next reveals the heart of his genius. Instead of rushing into battle unprepared, he spends years rebuilding not just his army, but the empire's spiritual foundation. He transforms the Roman military into something the world had never seen: a Christian holy army. Soldiers march into battle carrying icons of Christ and the Virgin Mary. Military campaigns begin with liturgical prayers. The emperor himself becomes not just a commander, but a spiritual leader waging war for the salvation of Christendom. The turning point comes in 622, when Heraclius launches his great Persian campaign. But this isn't just military strategy, it's religious revolution. The emperor proclaims that every soldier who dies fighting the Persians will be granted eternal salvation. He carries sacred relics into battle, transforming each engagement into a religious ceremony. The army doesn't just fight for territory or glory, they fight for Christ himself. The Persian wars that follow are unlike anything in ancient history. Heraclius doesn't just defeat armies, he wages spiritual warfare. In battle after battle, he demonstrates that faith can literally move mountains. At the Battle of Nineveh in 627, his outnumbered forces achieve what seems impossible, crushing the Persian army so completely that it effectively ends the war. The emperor's strategy of combining military brilliance with religious fervor creates an unstoppable force. But the real miracle happens when Heraclius recovers the true cross. Picture the scene. After 15 years of Persian occupation, the emperor enters Jerusalem in triumph. The sacred relic is restored to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in a ceremony that thousands witness as divine vindication. For Orthodox Christians, this moment represents nothing less than the restoration of God's favor to the Christian empire. The historical connections we're exploring here barely scratch the surface. In From Byzantium to Today, I reveal how these ancient events still shape your Orthodox faith right now. Click the link in the description and get this life-changing resource. This is actually where our Heraclius Victorious t-shirt comes from, commemorating that incredible moment when faith and military genius combined to achieve the impossible. It captures the essence of what made Heraclius unique. He didn't just win battles, he won them for Christ. The emperor's success transforms him into something unprecedented, the first Crusader emperor. He establishes the template that will inspire Christian holy war for centuries to come. His combination of military campaign and religious pilgrimage creates a new model of Christian kingship. When he processes barefoot into Jerusalem, carrying the true cross, he's not just a conquering general, he's a servant of God restoring divine order to the world. But history has a cruel sense of irony. Just as Heraclius achieves his greatest triumph, a new threat emerges from the Arabian Peninsula. The Islamic conquests begin in 634, just 7 years after his victory over Persia. The exhausted Byzantine forces, drained by decades of warfare, face an enemy fighting with the same religious fervor that had made Heraclius invincible. The tragedy of Heraclius's later years is almost unbearable to witness. The man who had recovered the true cross watches helplessly as Muslim armies sweep through the very territories he had died to defend. Damascus falls in 635, Jerusalem in 638. The emperor who had been hailed as God's chosen instrument sees his life's work crumble before his eyes. What makes this collapse even more devastating is that Heraclius understands exactly what's happening. He recognizes in the Islamic conquest the same combination of military skill and religious passion that had made his own campaign successful. The Muslims aren't just better fighters. They're fighting for their faith with the same intensity that had driven his own soldiers to victory. The Battle of Yarmuk in 636 effectively ends Byzantine control of the Levant. The emperor's brother Theodore leads a massive army against the Muslim forces, but the combination of tactical brilliance and religious motivation proves unstoppable. When news of the defeat reaches Constantinople, Heraclius reportedly declares that God has abandoned the empire. The man who had once been Christ's victorious champion now sees himself as divinely rejected. Yet even in defeat, Heraclius achieves something remarkable. His reign marks the definitive transformation of the Roman Empire into the Byzantine Empire. The administrative reforms he implements, the military themes he establishes, the religious character he gives to imperial rule, all these changes create a new kind of Christian state that will endure for another 8 centuries. The emperor's later years are marked by increasing mysticism and theological controversy. His attempts to reconcile different Christian factions through monothelitism create new religious divisions. The man who had once unified the empire through faith now sees it fracturing along theological lines. His personal life becomes increasingly erratic as he struggles to understand why God has withdrawn his favor. The Byzantine cross we see throughout Orthodox churches. You can wear this sacred symbol with our Byzantine cross collection. When you understand its meaning and wear it with reverence, you're carrying 1,500 years of Orthodox power. Click the link in the description. The connection between Heraclius and modern Orthodox Christianity remains profound. When Orthodox pilgrims visit the Holy Land today, they're retracing the steps of the emperor who fought to keep these sacred sites in Christian hands. The ancient faith that motivated his campaigns continues to inspire believers who see in his struggle a model of how Christians should respond to existential threats. What makes Heraclius' story so compelling is how it demonstrates the complex relationship between faith and power. His early victories suggest that divine favor rewards those who fight for Christian truth. His later defeats force us to confront the mystery of why God sometimes allows evil to triumph. The emperor's life becomes a meditation on the nature of divine justice and human responsibility. The transformation of the empire under Heraclius represents one of history's most dramatic examples of how crisis can generate renewal. The Roman Empire that dies during his reign is replaced by something entirely new, a Christian empire that sees itself as God's chosen instrument in the world. This Byzantine identity, forged in the crucible of Persian and Islamic warfare, will shape Eastern Christianity for centuries to come. Understanding Heraclius means understanding how faith can literally reshape history. His reign proves that religious conviction, when combined with military genius and political skill, can achieve what seems impossible. But it also demonstrates the limitations of human effort when confronted with divine will. The emperor's story becomes a profound meditation on the relationship between temporal power and eternal truth. In our next video, we'll explore how Heraclius' transformation of the empire sets the stage for one of history's most incredible events, the miracle of Constantinople during the 626 siege. You won't want to miss how the emperor's religious innovations literally saved the city through divine intervention. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss this incredible story of faith triumphing over impossible odds. Transform your Orthodox understanding today. Download your free guide now. Deepen your knowledge with our ebook From Byzantium to Today. And wear your faith with our Sacred Symbols collection. Your spiritual transformation starts with action.